How's it going, folks? Sam Lewis here with Safari Pedals, bringing you another brand new plugin. This is Falcon Air. Falcon Air is equal parts de-esser and high frequency enhancer. It's designed to both help you solve problems and give your tracks life with some simple to use controls. Input and output set your level going in and out of the plugin to allow you to gain stage effectively. Air gain gives you some real top end sparkle without getting too harsh, the frequency of which you can set using the frequency control below. Then the de-esser section allows you to smooth out any harshness, and when combined with the air gain control, you can get some really exciting sounds, as I'm going to show you. Then the air drive adds a touch of saturation to sweeten the high end, but it does it in a different frequency area to the gain, so allows you to shift the focus of the high end. Let's take a listen to this thing and see what it can do. So first of all, I want to show you how we can shift the focus in the high end. We can take the existing high end and just kind of dull it down a little bit and move that frequency. So we're actually getting some more saturation and just some different high end. Check it out. So here I'm actually taking off some top end. You can see that on the display here, taking off some air gain, but then bringing up some air drive. If I start with it off and then bring it on, you're going to hear what it's doing. This is on a drum track. We're able to add some really exciting kind of energy there. And remember, a high frequency enhancer, just because you can add a load of top end to stuff, it doesn't mean that you automatically have to just crank that air band. It's not about that. It's about doing what's right for the track. And in this particular instance, it didn't need more high end. It just needed different high end. And you'll see here that the air band adds that super high frequency relative to whatever you've got the frequency band set to, but that saturation is going to affect it at a different frequency. It's actually going to be lower, and it's going to add some more kind of clarity and some more kind of smack to the drums. So don't just go for the air band straight away. Don't just crank it and think more high end is better, because sometimes it isn't. And this is a really interesting tool where you can manipulate things in a really creative way. But on a full track, sometimes that is what you need. Sometimes you need a little bit of that air. So on the same track with that original plugin now taken off, let's take a listen to the full track without the air gain on, and then we'll just bring it in gently and just see what it's adding. We don't need a club, got our own booth. Coming at the same time, you don't got the time for us. When we make it rain in the bedroom, we don't tell us all what we gon' do. Dirty little secrets, keep it in the sheets with us. When we make it rain in the bedroom, we don't need a club, got our own booth. Coming at the same time, you don't got the time for us. Just adding some real presence in that top end. So two kind of different ways of attacking this track, I guess. The first one just on the drums and moving the focus of that top end, and on this one adding some real clarity and top end in those high frequencies and in the hi-hats. You can think of this as a mastering tool as much as you can as a mixing tool. If you just need to add a little bit of brightness to something in those super high frequencies, this is going to be the perfect one-stop shop for that. And it's also great for shifting the focus and really adding some kind of grit maybe at the mixing stage if you're trying to get a little bit more clarity, maybe even a little bit more dirt out of those higher mid frequencies and the high frequencies in maybe a drum track. And in mastering, there's a classic kind of trick where you have a high frequency limiter, where you're essentially shoving a load of high frequencies up into that limiter and then bringing them down. And with the de-esser, I'm going to show you it on vocals in just a moment, but I think it's worth showing you how you can achieve that same kind of feel here. So you do that by having two kind of contrasting settings. So you add a load of air gain and then you bring the de-esser down. So the de-esser is
affecting the same frequency area as the air gain is. So we're going to be adding a load of high frequencies and then bringing them down afterwards, which is not just counteracting it. It's not kind of just a counterproductive thing. We're adding all those high frequencies in and then we're bringing them down, but the energy of the high frequencies stays the same. That's the important thing. Let's start from scratch and just do that and just bring up some high frequencies and then start to de-ess them. So essentially start to limit how much they're coming through and you'll hear the energy come in.
We don't need a club, got our own groove. Coming at the same time, yeah. You don't got the time for us. When we make it rain in the bedroom, we don't tell us all what we gon' do. Dirty little secrets, yeah. Keep it in the sheets with us. When we make it rain in the bedroom, we don't need a club, got our own groove. Coming at the same time, yeah.
You'll see that on those settings, the air gain is nowhere near the top. So you can add a load more than that if you need to, or you can add less if your track doesn't need quite as much. Or conversely, if you want to retain that amount of air gain, you can just bring the de-esser amount up a little bit. And you're essentially going to be limiting the amount of high frequencies, but retaining that energy. And that's a really key thing here. So let's go to the kind of classic de-essing setting and something that just solves a problem. Previously, we were using it in a kind of creative way, but Falcon Air allows you to de-ess a vocal as well in a really transparent and really just easy kind of way. All you need to do is just set your frequency and then bring the de-esser amount up. It's as simple as that. Let's take a listen to this vocal. It's actually a backing vocal. And let's take a listen to it before, and then we'll bring in the de-esser. And previously, before the de-esser's there, you're going to hear the issues. It's just getting a bit too essy.
Wondering if my love will make you scream and shout. If I don't at first, I'ma figure it out. Wondering if my love will make you scream and shout. If I don't at first, I'ma figure it out.
So you can hear how it doesn't quite sound the way that a lot of de-essers do. It doesn't give you that kind of lispy effect, and it does retain some of the high end, but it just kind of shifts it a little bit. So let's hear it in the track. Let's hear it without the de-esser on first, and you'll hear that those high frequencies just poke out. But with the de-esser on, it doesn't just completely annihilate them. It doesn't completely kill them. It just calms them down a little bit.
Wondering if my love will make you scream and shout. If I don't at first, I'ma figure it out. Wondering if my love will make you scream and shout. If I don't at first, I'ma figure it out.
So it's just tucking them in a little bit, and you've got more to go there. So I'm not actually going absolutely crazy. I'm not going up to 100. I'm just tucking them in. You may need a little bit more. You may need a little bit less. It's just a really effective de-esser that is going to tame those high frequencies and just allow the S's and the real high frequency stuff just to sit in the mix a little bit more. That's just a few ways you can use Falcon Air. You can go and check it out for yourself at safaripedals.com. You can buy the perpetual license, or this comes as part of the all access subscription as well. Go check it out, see if you can add some high frequency energy to your track, or if you've got a problem that needs solving in the high frequencies, Falcon Air is here to help. I'll see you again soon. Take care.